Hi, I am here today to talk to you about what I like about living in the village of Oak Creek. And the village of Oak Creek is the unincorporated area close to Sedona. We actually have a Sedona address, but we're a little bit away from the main hustle and bustle of Sedona. Kind of you pass the village as you are coming into town, if you've taken the Interstate 17 and the 179. So I like to talk about the small towns, pros and cons, things that you might like or not like about it in case you are thinking of relocating or just buying a property here and want to know what the difference is between, say, the village of Oak Creek and uptown Sedona, West Sedona, and other parts of the Verde Valley. The first thing I like about living in the village of Oak Creek is that it is just beautiful. You have great views everywhere, and even this view, take a look out of the window of my house. I have just a very average American middle-class home here in Sedona, and yet I look out the window and this is what I see. And also when I take my dogs for a walk, I just go around the block and I have a beautiful view in all four streets before I get home. So that is something that's really great. You got great views and beauty everywhere you go. Number two thing I like is that all of the houses look different. So many people that live here may have originally come from Phoenix, and Phoenix area, you have rows and rows of houses that are very similar looking. Many have beige stucco and red tile roofs, which is fine. It's very practical, but it is nice to have a little bit of variety in the homes, and you will find that here in the village of Oak Creek. And what's nice is even the small homes are different looking. Number three is there's a nice variety of vegetation. So you do see a lot of these juniper trees, which I call the scruffy little trees. I'm not so crazy about those, but there are a lot of other types of trees too. You see pine trees here, you see cacti, prickly pear, a lot of flowers in the spring. There'll be fields that have those purple flowers on them, different trees besides mesquite and palo verde. It's just it's nice. I have in my front yard, I don't know if it's a maple, but something like that, where the leaves all come off in the winter. Right now it just looks like sticks, but it is nice to have that different type of vegetation. Number five is that people are friendly. Most of the time when you're in the grocery store, Ace Hardware, gas station, people get to know you because they see you all the time. But even the tourists, when they're in town, you meet them on the hiking trail and they'll talk to you, start, asking you about stuff. So that's kind of nice. Now, I said number five, really meant number four. So let me go back to number four, is that the utilities are cheap. I spend $20 a month for water, $20 a month. The home I had in Phoenix, my water, garbage, sewer combined was about $200 every single month. So here I pay $20 a month for water, $25 a month for garbage collection, and the highest electric bill I think I ever get is $125, even in the coldest part of the winter and the warmest part of the summer. So utilities, yeah, that's good. It helps offset the fact that your home prices are higher. Number six thing I like about living in the village is I can get to the hustle and bustle of uptown Sedona or West Sedona in 20 to 30 minutes, depending on if it's a weekday. I can get there faster because the traffic will be light, but even in crowded time of year, I can get to the fun part of Sedona in about 30 minutes. Number seven is I can walk out my door and hit a hiking trail, albeit a very small, not popular hiking trail, right there, just across the block. So that's nice. The last time I did it, I was with my daughter, who's 18 years old, and, it was ahead, and then I'd fallen and gotten all those little, thorn stickers on my shirt and my dog. So I sometimes will be worth it to drive to the popular Bell Rock hiking trails, but if I want to, I can just walk out my door and take about 15 steps and there is a trailhead. And a lot of the neighborhoods will have little hidden trails in there. So number eight, this is probably the most fun for me. I love shopping at thrift stores, and there are two thrift stores in the village, and there's a third one in West Sedona that are Humane Society. Humane Society runs little thrift stores. these are fun. I get really good stuff for super inexpensive price. I go there once a week, maybe check both of them out, and whenever I'm in West Sedona, I hit the one that is the bigger of the three, Humane Society thrift stores. So that's number 8, is I have 2 fun Humane Society thrift stores that I can get to from my house in 5 minutes. Number 9, which seems kind of silly, but the Ace Hardware in town has just about everything I need. Because a lot of times you'll think, oh man, I don't see any shopping here in the village. There's Ace Hardware, there's a grocery store, Clark's, there's Tuesday Morning and Famous Foot Fair, and that's about it. But Ace Hardware does have a lot of extra stuff that you might not see in a hardware store. So, and when I go in there, I just say, this is what I need, and they take me right to it. I don't have to go wandering around like you do when you're at Home Depot. So now I want to tell you about the things that, kind of a bummer about living in the village. Because if I'm going to tell you the things that are good, I might as well tell you the things that are bad. For me, this is a little bit annoying, but number 1 is that there's one drive-through car wash in the village, and about half of the time the thing is broken or out of order. So for me, it's very frustrating because I am a realtor and I need to keep my cars clean all the time. What if somebody spontaneously wants me to show them a house and I've got, oh, I'll meet you there in 15 minutes. I don't want to have to go clean out my car. So I try to keep it clean always. Every time I fill my tank with gas, I like to take it through the car wash, and it's a bummer when you go through and it's broken and I have to remember to check it out next time. And the other thing is, a lot of times, because I sell a lot of cabins that are nearby, I'll take my perfectly clean car out, and I'll go off-road for, 15 miles, bring the car back, and it's filthy, and I'd like to run it through the car wash, and it's broken. Again, a lot of times it's not broken, so that's good, but the fact that it's out of order a lot of the time is very frustrating. Number 2, I hate to admit this, but it does kind of bother me that there are only 3 fast food places with drive-throughs. So we have Wendy's, which is good because they're very efficient and very fast. And there is Los Betos, which is kind of like Filiberto's. They have a good variety of food. And then Subway. I like Subway too. But, sometimes it'd be nice to have more than 3 choices. Now, there are other fabulous restaurants if I'm not feeling lazy and I feel like getting out of the car. A couple of my favorites you'll see here. One is a Famous Pizza and Beer, because they got good pizza. And look at the views that you'll get of this place. I'm not going inside, but yet you can see from the window you have a beautiful view of Bell Rock and some of the other areas. And then another one I like is this place called the Red Chopstick, which is in the same Bell Rock shopping plaza, and they're really good Chinese food, and the owner is a really nice guy, and I like those places. But there are many good restaurants there in the village. So in a small place, you still have a lot of good restaurants. Number 3 is the gas stations are crowded on the weekends. You've got 3 gas stations. You've got the Speedway, you got the Chevron, and then the Circle K. And if you've missed a Circle K, you're going to wait till you're in West Sedona to get gas. So in Sunday in particular, a lot of tourists are going to fill up before they go home, and you might have to wait for a gas pump. Oh, that drives me crazy. Usually I don't have to wait for the gas pump, but when I see every pump but one is filled, it's like, So yeah, that can be a bummer. Number 4 thing that's kind of a bummer is you can get a lot of traffic on the weekend. I can go into Clark's just thinking I want a couple of 2-liter bottles of Coke Zero, and there will be a line because people are here from out of town and they're buying some groceries. So yeah, it gets crowded, but it's not that bad. Number 5 is if I want to shop for, a lot of types of things, I might have to drive to Cottonwood or to Flagstaff. So for instance, if I want to go to Walmart, I want to go to Costco, I want to go to Home Depot, Fry's, the gun store, I'll have to drive to Cottonwood or even to Flagstaff. I went to Flagstaff to get my glasses. So yeah, stuff like that, you're going to have to drive a little way. I can get to Flagstaff in under an hour, and I can get to Cottonwood in about 40 minutes. So that is number 5. Now number 6 is that you have to watch your animals, your pets, for predators. So I have a dog door, and the dogs go out in and out of the backyard, but I have to be careful that there's not a bobcat in a tree or something like that when I put them out. And then I have the parrot that sometimes it'd be nice to just put them out on the stand, but parrot even more vulnerable because you're going to get predator animals from the air could come and sweep them away. So that's something to look out for. You're going to have that anywhere though in the Verde Valley. So another thing, which might sound silly, this is number 7. So I lived by the golf course, and I would like to take my dogs on a walk because it's really pretty on the little sidewalk that goes by the golf cart and golf course. And a couple times I was out in the day and golfer would come over and they say, no, you shouldn't walk on the golf course when we're out golfing, when people are golfing, because we might hit you with a golf ball. And I'm like, what are you, President Ford? Now, I thought it was funny. Younger people might not get it with President Ford always hitting people with a golf ball, but that's the first thing I thought of. So yeah, I don't want to have to go at 6 in the morning to walk in the golf course so that the golfers will get upset with me, but that's going to be anywhere. So number 9, and this might seem silly, but just because you live in Sedona doesn't mean that people aren't going to try to rip you off. Now, I say this just because a couple of times there was a certain mechanic that overcharged me or charged me and didn't fix it, and then I had to go in again, that kind of thing. So just because you're in Sedona doesn't mean there won't be, not that great of business people, although it's very rare. Most of the time people bend over backwards to help you and give you incredible service here. The people that do landscaping, say, oil change, grocers, many people that work here are just fabulous and friendly, but you gotta always beware and don't think, oh, I'm in Sedona and this is the place of mysticism and magic and everybody's gonna be fair. So again, just, you have to beware. So that is it. My name's Dawn Dickenson. I sell real estate here in northern Arizona, particularly Sedona and the Verde Valley, which would be Cornville, Cottonwood, Camp Verde, Rimrock. But I also sell in Flagstaff and the cabin towns a lot in the summertime. In the summertime, I'm kind of a cabin specialist. I also have a place in Chandler, so I can sell in the Valley of the Sun, even though that's not where I work most of the time, but I did grow up there, and so I know Chandler, Gilbert, Ahwatukee very, very well. So if you have any real estate questions, feel free to drop me a line. It's easiest to reach me on the phone by sending a text or leave me a voicemail or an email. I'm going to leave my information below. You can also find me on Zillow and send me a message through my Zillow account. I would love to help you if you're looking for a property up here. I post real estate type topics every single week on this YouTube channel, and I would love it if you like the video to give me a like or maybe even subscribe. And I hope to see you here again next week, where I will be posting some other topic about living in northern Arizona.